So welcome back to another episode of From Overlooked to Fully Booked. And today we have Tyler Brennan with Redstone Insurance Services. And you've got an amazing B&I story. We were both a part of B&I that you got to where you are today because of the network that you ultimately built.
I did, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that.
So that story begins in 2012. Took the Tommy Boy route in college, and it took a little while to get it done. Yeah. I was working for a promotional marketing company, doing some sales to grow that business. It was brand new to the area. We were selling embroidery and screen prints and your marketing gizmos and gadgets that you want to give away. And the owner he was in a B&I chapter, he put me in another B&I chapter. Unfortunately, that business didn't make it. Didn't make it past the first year, as many businesses do. But within my time in that group, there was an insurance agent who took a liking to the way I performed. Thought he could mentor me through life and gave me an opportunity to get into the insurance game, worked underneath him for a few years, then kind of went out on my own, and then he recruited me over to where I'm at now, and here I am. So that was 2012, and enjoyed the trip.
I love how the networks of people can help you with your next opportunity and next opportunity. Mm-hmm. Just when you ask, you say, I'm available to it for sure. Absolutely. So we are talking today about consistency that creates results. So how do we create a consistent system? We've got these relationships that we've built, we're authentic, all of those things, but now how do we turn that into something that really works? And your sales background really helps lend itself to all of this. So how do you find yourself, so what is the cost of being inconsistent in a sales process and a referral process?
So the cost of being inconsistent is constant failure, right? And you're never going to know where you want to go. You're going to always ask that question of, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? What am I trying to do? What can I do different? And if you get so focused on the what ifs and you forget about the fundamentals will always get you there, right? It's just like if you played sports growing up, at basketball practice, the last thing you did was shoot free throws because you're dead tired. You're going to be dead tired in the game when you got to shoot it. You've got to go back to what makes sense. If you can't put that in motion and you keep trying too many different things, the next thing you know is you've got way too many things going on and you don't know which way to go. So B&I actually has a great theory about that, about relationships being a mile wide but an inch deep, right? And it's good to have a mile wide sphere of influence of people that you can connect with, but if you're only an inch deep, they don't really know you, they don't understand you, you don't understand them. You've got to learn how to make those relationships deeper. The trick is discovering, who do I need to make that relationship deeper with?
So most people probably don't even know what you're talking about on that person, right? So just say a little bit more about the person who's never used marketing or networking as an approach. Where do you even start?
Oh, starting is tough. So first, if you're just getting started in business, regardless of what your business is, I think you need to shotgun. You need to be at everything you could possibly be at, and just see what fits your personality, number one. Yeah. Right? It's going to be tough. You're going to have to learn to come out of your shell. Some things are going to be uncomfortable. Maybe you're a little introverted, and being in crowds is kind of tough, and you kind of cater to those people. And that's fine if you are that, right? And you find that group of people who you can relate to real easy in an event. But when you're in that circle, focus on why you're in the room, right? It's easy to have a conversation like, Meaghan, how's your daughter doing? How's life going, right? You can always have that conversation. And you may start with it just to kind of get things going, but then say, hey, I'm here today because I wanted to accomplish this. Do you know somebody I can get in touch with? And let them walk you over to that person. Let them walk you over to that circle and get you introduced. That little fear that some of us have as introverts, it fades when someone else takes the reins.
Yeah.
And so if you can find a way to take that rein, it really helps. So, and when you're just getting started, shotgun it. Go find out what's going to work for you. And then take what you've learned, take some of those responses that you've received and go, all right, what is working in here? in what direction do I want my business to go? Who's going to help me get there? What of these networks is going to help me get there? And then kind of start making a little bit more of a strategy and a plan. Once you have that plan in place, you can really put some effort into the why behind going, and then you'll find that success.
So you are talking my language because I always go in with a strategy, but I find when small business owners, sales professionals, they don't take that moment to sit back and think, what am I trying to accomplish with this event that I'm about to go to? So how do you get people how do you get somebody to do that?
Well, it takes time, number one. I think another part is you have to really put an effort into your own why, and you have to be able to compartmentalize that you're going to this to accomplish something. Because I think, especially in sales, right? I'm in insurance sales. The knowledge that we all know about insurance sales is they're going to talk about it when they're thinking about it, right? So you have to be available. You hear real estate agents and mortgage officers, I'm always available, I'm always available. Well, eventually you're going to burn out and you're not always available. They're not going to get your best, right? So you have to be able to put your mindset in and say, I'm going to this event to accomplish this, and these people can wait. They will be there when you get back. You may need to reach back out to them. You may need to step aside at the event and say, hey, I'm at an event. I'll be done at 2, or whatever it is. I'll give you a shout here in just a little bit. They just want to be heard, right? So that to me is the secret to finding the success in the event and being able to strategize it, right? And then it depends on what type of networking event you're going to. Is it more of a nonchalant, everybody in the world's going to be there? Is it one where you're really focused on sharing what your business is? Like you're going to get an opportunity to speak. So each different type of event has a different type of strategy. You got to know who's going to be in the room and why you want to talk to those people. So
we're really talking system. Anytime you talk strategy, you talk systems, right? Because it's what am I trying to accomplish, and then how do I ultimately accomplish it? So you're really consistent on the systems you have built for follow-up and things like that. Tell us what those are and how they work for you.
So I have, the fundamentals are fairly the same. It's a little bit different approach depending on what I'm trying to accomplish, right? So the BNI network groups, they meet every single week. So there is on my calendar every week, even the holiday weeks that I know we're probably not going to meet, it's stuck there. And myself and my staff know he's not available. He's going to be in that meeting every single Wednesday. For me, it's every single Wednesday. So having it ahead of time really helps. Take the first of the month is one thing I do. I look at the first month, what's going on this month, and where do I want to be. And there's some that I'll put on there that I'm like, if I can make it, because it's not one that I feel I'm going to get a reward out of, but it may just kind of have some word of mouth presence, right? And show some support. And then on the sales side, right? So I heard the other day that you need 28 touches these days.
With social media.
It is
added to it.
Many. When I started in the sales career, which really goes all the way back to the early 2000s, it was like 7. And in 20 years, we're at 28 touches, which says a lot to me about our human nature.
Attention, right? And our attention span and our
But if it takes that amount of time, then you've got to be strategic in the way you approach it, right? So I think a lot of salespeople struggle with the phone's ringing, I gotta answer it. Well, you can answer it, but if you're in the middle of something, you have to make a decision. Do I let the phone ring or do I answer it? And if you decide to answer it, you have to be able to say, okay, I'm answering it to schedule when I can call you.
That's discipline.
That's discipline. Because the next thing you know is your day's over and you're not there. So you've missed your opportunity to do those preset follow-ups that you may have had.
Yeah.
Does that really? I might have gone down the wrong route.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because what we've talked about is like time blocking and having discipline and going back to your B&I meeting, nobody knows you're in a B&I meeting. You could be in with your best client. You could be meeting with your boss. You could be doing a million different things. So what are other things what other systems do you have in place that just help you ultimately achieve your goals?
Practice is one. I think really my system of putting reading into my development, putting a forced effort of reading to develop myself better into those strategies and what I want to learn on. I find myself doing that, and when I put it into a routine, that's what really I think helps. Right, I wake up in the morning and I get my 15, 30 minutes of reading in, or I do it on Saturday mornings or whatever it may be. When I put that effort into it, I find more strategy comes out of it, and I find more success comes from it. Right?
So a lot of successful people say, I have my peaceful time in the morning, I do my reading, I do my exercising, all of those kinds of things. But a lot of people can't do that. Like, how do you
get there?
How do you get there?
You have to mentally get there. You have to mentally make that decision that I'm going to do it. And there's gonna be, I read a really great book on mindset. I struggle myself with, I feel like my calendar's all over the place, so I really appreciate y'all feeling like it's not. But when it comes to the mindset, I've learned through this research, your brain goes in different spectrums throughout the day, right? So you're gonna have a time of your day where that is the best time for you to do that type of work. You're gonna have a time of day where you're giddy and you want to get up and you want to talk to the world. As soon as you can acknowledge that's where your sweet spot is, you're going to put that type of work in that time frame and you'll high perform at it. So if you're not early in the morning, you're going to be late at night, guaranteed. Or you might be those that like to work from 6 to 11 and then go to the gym, and that midday lunchtime is their decompression sweet spot, and then they come back fired up, ready to go kill the afternoon, right? So you have to put a mindset on it, and you have to mentally just make that commitment to yourself to get there.
So really it's understanding your energy flow first, and then it's where do I put the right activities in the right places, and then rinse and repeat?
Rinse and repeat.
So
Trust the process.
Okay, say more about that.
I was just internal joking. We're in Alabama. That was Coach Saban's big thing. Trust the process.
Yes.
Right.
But you have a process that you've developed and now you trust. What is that process for you?
So I really avoid responding to emails in the morning. I do check them and I flag the important ones. But I come in with whatever is the hottest on my mind. Right? Why could I not sleep last night?
Okay.
What is that big thing that needs to get done? And I get that thing done before I get back to any of the other day-to-day things. Another schedule I'll put on, I know we're talking more about follow-ups today, but I put a time frame on the calendar of I do nothing but prospecting. Okay. I do nothing but my reach outs, right? Yep. Those people I'm trying to get in front of or trying to have a conversation with. And then I find, and it takes a while to get here, so it's a little bit of discipline and practice, but I find your follow-up process works best when you learn to end every conversation beginning the next one. Okay? So what does that look like? What I mean by that is so when we finish today, right, or if we were working through your insurance and we gathered a bunch of information, I would end it with, all right, Meaghan, when do you want me to have this for you? And you would say whatever you would say. Tuesday. And say, all right, well, I tell you what, I'm looking at Tuesday's pretty booked for me. Can I get this? Can we talk Wednesday at 2? Or, the sales books will tell you to say one step further. They would say, hey, Meaghan, how about we meet again Thursday at 2, and we'll talk where I'm at. So it's okay to not meet my timeline and push it back 2 days? Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? Well, I'm meeting my timeline. That's where the big change comes in. Is I think a lot of sales get focused on the customer first and themselves second. And I like to look at the approach of if you wanted to get your hair done, your hairstylist is going to tell you when she's available. You can't walk in and say, hey, I need a whole style today. She's going to say, yeah, I'll see you in a month. That's a fact. And I'm okay with that, with the hairstylist, actually. You need to go see a specialist. You need to see your doctor, the dentist. It doesn't really matter. So you have to decide, who are you going to be? Are you going to be a drive-through type of sale, or are you going to be an expert in your field? And if you want to be an expert in your field, you control when you have the conversations.
And you've never had customers push back on like, no, I said Tuesday.
Oh,
Instead
so
of
I see what
Thursday.
your question was.
Yeah.
No, we can make Tuesday work. We have to
Yeah.
work with each other, but I'm still in control.
Okay,
of the
so, but I can
conversation.
still say, it would look better for Tuesday, and you could choose to meet it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
and
that's-
I may come back with like, is there a reason that there's Tuesday?
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Is there
yeah.
a reason?
Right.
Because it may be, in a lot
Yes,
of times.
I'm trying to meet
Yeah.
I'm trying to meet this deadline.
Yeah, I'm
right?
trying to meet a deal.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now that I understand that, let me see what I can do to get that done for you.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of depends on that.
Well, it does also give you the opportunity. I mean, these are tiny little details that are so
Mm-hmm.
cool, though. But that also gives you the opportunity to say, yes, I will inconvenience myself to meet your
Mm-hmm.
schedule, since I'm understanding it's important to you in that capacity.
Yeah. If you're an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur spirit, you will always have that mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because the customer is what makes our day work.
Yeah.
Is what brings, how we can provide to our families. You just can't let it control you. As soon as you can figure out how to control it,
Yeah.
then you can find yourself more successful.
Have you always been this systemized and I can time block and discipline?
I think my brain has, but I don't think
That you actually have? Yeah. Because I think a lot of people hear what you're saying. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that would be awesome if I could do that. But I don't have the discipline to do it.
Yeah, I think I have a very analytical side to the way I approach things.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic. I've worked with numerous coaches, and they're all like, "How do you test so high on this side and on the analytical side? It doesn't seem to compute." I'm like, I don't know.
No,
That's just
I had
who
the
am.
same. I had the same experience. I did a disc profile, and the person came back to me and said, "How did you ever make it through engineering school?"
Yeah.
I was kind of offended,
Yeah,
and then I realized I'm a people person, and
Yeah.
that's not a people industry.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
live in a big engineering town,
Yeah.
right? And I love talking to an engineer.
Yeah.
I speak the language of an engineer, and so for me, it's
Teamwork.
just part of who I am. So
Yeah.
it's hard to. It's something you can teach yourself for sure. I mean, everybody can learn anything. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of being a human. You can learn whatever you want to learn. You just have to discipline it.
And you said earlier the why. Like, why am I doing this thing that feels kind of unnatural too?
Yeah.
So I want to go back, because I rudely interrupted. I want to go back to, you set up the next conversation in this conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've said, okay, when am I going to have this ready for you? And
Yeah.
we're going to meet on Thursday. How do you find do you know exactly, like, meeting one, this is my transition to meeting two, or are you doing it more on the fly?
Great question. In my day-to-day work, for the sales side of things, yes, I know exactly what it is. I have a process in place. Most of my business is business-to-business commercial insurance. So if it's a brand new relationship, my first meeting is I'm just getting to know you. I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn about you. I want to know why you opened your business. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know where you're going. Why are we even having this conversation, right? And then my second conversation is a little bit more of an audit type conversation.
Okay.
Let me look at what you got. Let me see where we are now and where do we want to go. And then the third and fourth conversations tend to be more about me, like, hey, questioning a couple of things, right?
Yeah, getting the details.
Yep. And then when I'm ready, then I'll call you and say, when can I come talk to you?
Okay.
So yes, I have an established process through those. I do that on pretty much any line of insurance that I write.
Yeah.
The first part to me is the most important part, because we need to make sure that we're going to be able to work together first.
Yeah.
For me, it's not about price. It's about getting you to the place you want to be. So that helps in that.
How often do you say this isn't going to work after the first meeting?
To be honest, not very often. I'm in sales.
Yeah. Right?
But there are occasions where it's, it might be where it's a situational.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is just the wrong time to have this conversation. Let's talk in 6 months.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
I try to help everybody that I absolutely can.
Yeah.
We just have to understand, sometimes time frames come into play, and you just don't have the time to get done what you're trying to accomplish. And that just may be what it is. And you have to learn to accept that.
Yeah.
All right. But I did have a thought, if we can go back a little bit more on the networking side of
Yes.
it. You asked, like, kind of how do you strategize that? So one thing that I did a while back, I was in a role where I was trying to help grow this agency, but I was also just like in an assistant role, so I needed to be in the office. I didn't have the flexibility to like, hey, I'm going out for a few hours to go
Yes.
find something. So what I did then was I picked a day of the week, and I said that was my networking day. And then I went by this county or this city, this city, this city, like near me. And then the fourth week, I was in the office trying to catch up because it's the end of the month.
Yes.
Right? Or I was back and I was close to home. So I was close to home, far from home, back to home. And just getting in that process gave me that ability to be front of face, which is the key to a relationship partner, is you have to consistently be front of face, front of mind. You can't expect $1 million deals or consistent opportunities if you just met somebody one time.
Yeah.
Now, you may be specialized in that, kind of doesn't play into that, but if you have an everyday service that there's hundreds of you in town, you have to stay front of face, front of mind to get that person's ability and build that trust. And when they see you for 6 months show up on the second Wednesday with some cookies or something, and you're like, hey, how's it going? And the first few times, you're just kind of letting them know you exist, right? The next few times, you're starting to be like, how can I help you?
Interesting.
How can I help you get where you're trying to go?
Yeah.
If you make it about them versus about you, you'll start seeing it.
Yeah, you'll start getting that
Yeah.
that connection. It sounds, what are some accountability tools people can use to help them get into this process and into a real routine of making sales, prospecting, networking really work for them?
Build a team, I think, would be number one. If you're running solo, right, it's kind of, you're holding yourself accountable, right?
Yeah.
So to me, that team is I wrote it down on a big whiteboard, and I have to see it every day.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Or maybe I joined some closer networking groups that have the same people every single week, or that have the same mindsets, right? Or the same type of industry that are pushing me. Another great one, in all honesty, the best thing you can get is a coach. The coach is going to hold you the most accountable ever, right? So those are kind of some things that you could do.
To make sure that you're ultimately doing it. Yeah.
If you got a boss, tell your boss what your plan is and let your boss hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Right? If your boss is at home like mine is,
Yeah,
tell her what
there
it
you go,
is.
right? Yeah. It doesn't work so well in my household. I don't respond
I
well
imagine
to
you are
him
the
being an
boss.
accountability partner so much. But so how, again, going back to your sales process, how do you follow up really effectively, and how do you make sure you're getting those, what did you say, 26, 28 touch points?
Well, I think the marketing aspect is the 28 touch points.
Yeah.
But that's just to get somebody to come out of their way to find you.
Yes.
Right. My success has always been working with those who are talking to who I need to talk to.
Okay.
I found that to be my success.
Who are the referral partners that you find are the best people who can help create some of those touch points as well for you?
So that is, for me, being in commercial insurance, it's those that are already working with the business owners. So bankers, people that do the lending of those. Their customers will tell you what their problem is, right?
Yeah.
And if you can come in and say, hey, I've been hearing a lot of your customers with this issue, I think I have a solution for you.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. The real estate world's always good.
Yeah.
The problem with the real estate world is everybody wants to talk to them.
Yes.
Right? Everybody wants a piece of it because they're usually the first conversation, right? Everybody wants to be there. So you have to establish relationships. And once you get that deeper relationship, then you can really start seeing. You don't need to know all 700 real estate agents in your area. You need to know 10. And you need to know 10 really well.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 good ones really well. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So you had some time to prep for today. What are some other things that came to mind when we talk about consistency creating results?
Well, I think the biggest reason it creates results is it shows your persistency and your commitment to helping that person, right? Insurance, for one, is always advertised as quick and easy. it's the most complex product to me on the market, right? It's very complex. So to be able to work through that, right? And like I said before, when we started, in insurance especially, they want to talk about it when it's on top of their mind, right? So if you don't have something in place, you have to put it back in, you have to wait around for them to be out thinking about it again.
Yes.
They're only going to think about it when they got to see the payment come out. That's not a good time to have a conversation. It usually starts it. So those, I would say that's probably pretty much what gets me there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the person who just has listened to this entire thing and been like, great for Tyler, not good for me, what piece of advice would you give them?
You've got to find your confidence. You got to find it. You got to find what gets you what it is, right?
Yeah.
There's a really good book that I read it. I listen to it more than I read it, but at least 3 or 4 times a year, called The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
And it's to always do your best, right? So if you're going to fail, that's number one. You've got to learn to fail and accept it, especially in the sales game.
Yeah.
You're going to get told no. You're going to get hung up on. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes, but it'll be okay. There'll be another opportunity. As long as you're doing your best, then you can hang your head high, right?
That's what I say to my kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another agreement that is very good is not to take anything personal. And that can be tough.
Hard.
That can be very tough, but I really like the aspect of it where you're not just taking it personal when it's negative, but they talk about don't take it personal when you succeed either. Don't gloat. Don't hang out there being I'm the best of all these things because I've done that. Be humble about your success, right?
Have you ever seen the video of it? It was a bunch of Hollywood, just like I think Tom Hanks was even there. It was like awesome, and they said, "Oh, it's a terrible day, and this too shall pass." And they said, "Oh, it's I had this I won an Academy Award, and this too shall pass."
Yep.
I was like, that noted.
I've seen that.
Yes.
Exactly what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
noted.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Do you remember the other 2 agreements?
The one that sticks out to me the most is don't make any assumptions.
Yeah.
Right? So in the sales world, what I see a lot of salespeople do, regardless of their time frame in sales, it's they fear making that phone call because they don't want to bother them. They didn't know that they were having them, right? So you can't assume that they don't want to talk to you. You can't assume that they're busy. You can't assume that they're just going to hang up on you. You have to take that action yourself to see.
Yeah.
Right? And when you call with intent. And when you call with intent, they're there with conversation.
Yeah.
Right? I called you because of this. I wanted to see where you were at because of this.
Yeah.
Right? If you call to chit chat, you're going to get the chit-chat response if they're busy.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Yeah.
Right? Call with intent.
Be impeccable with your word.
That's it. Be impeccable with your word.
It's the one that I haven't read it. I don't read it like you do, but yeah.
I like to call it always be honest.
Okay, yeah.
Is what
Well, when you said this one's the hardest one, I was like, be impeccable with your word, because being impeccable with your word with yourself, I find to be the hardest.
Which is what the book talks about, Meaghan. Yep, and that because your last month's episode, you were talking about holding. I'm trying to remember the word he used. Be authentic.
Yes.
And be authentic to yourself.
Yep.
Because the only person who you have to answer to is yourself.
Yeah.
Right? No one else. All of those thoughts that are in your head, no one else hears them but you.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you expound them. So, being authentic is kind of, and being honest with everybody and being honest with yourself is kind of what that message is. So,
what other things do you think, based on your own success, that our listeners would appreciate and you would like to share with them?
Be patient. It's not an overnight journey, and when you see others succeed, be happy for them. Don't put yourself down because somebody else got something you were trying to do, or they got promoted, or they got whatever. That's their journey. Do your journey in your time, but dedicate to yourself the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Don't let yourself get in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where can everyone find you if they're interested in learning more about what we've talked about today or insurance?
Well, they could call the office. I do have a Facebook, a personal Facebook.
Yeah.
Our office has a Facebook.
Yeah.
I come from the generation of a handshake and a case of beer or a plate of food, and that's good to go. So
Right, perfect.
So
So you're good with that connection as well. All right, awesome. Here's your challenge for this month. Pick your rhythm, track your actions, and commit to showing up every single week. Consistency isn't just about effort, it's about credibility. If you have not already watched this month's YouTube lesson, How to Turn Relationships into a Repeatable System, go check that out next. It breaks down exactly how to plan, track, and repeat your relationship building rhythm so your referrals stay steady all year long. And when you're ready to take one step further, join me in February as we talk about how to become the business everyone loves to recommend. We're getting all the secrets from the #1 alpha agent, Tyler Ross, so please don't miss it.